What's going on, everyone? Storm Ginger here with a tutorial on the Isle. This series is going to be focusing on going through every single character, giving some facts about the dinosaur itself, and then going into how they work in the game. I'm going to be talking about matchups between other dinosaurs, like, for example, Suchomimus versus T-Rex. Who wins? Haha. So, I'm going to start off with Herrerasaurus. As of right now, Herrerasaurus is the smallest meat-eating dinosaur in the Isle, being just smaller than the Austroraptor. This dinosaur originated from the late Triassic period, about 241.3 million years ago. It is the oldest dinosaur in the Isle as of right now. There's not that many Triassic and Jurassic dinosaurs in the Isle up to this point. And it's also the starting carnivore for the Dilophosaurus strain, being Herrerasaurus, then you graduate to Monolophosaurus, and then you become Dilophosaurus. And then obviously Dilophosaurus, you get your three strains from it: hypoendocrine, tissoplastic, and the third one that lets you, shoot your soul into the sky or something like that. You get to do EMP stuff. Alright, lots of T-Rexes. Anyway, so this dinosaur has had a lot of debate onto what type of dinosaur it was. Originally, people thought it was either a carnivore or a sauropodomorph, or even a type of archosaur, seeing how the bones were very similar to another early archosaur called Euparkeria, which is also believed to be a common ancestor for dinosaurs in general. Now, it wasn't until a complete skull was discovered in 1988 that this dinosaur was people know this dinosaur was definitely not a sauropodomorph. As of right now, it's considered a type of carnosaur with its own family called Herrerasauridae. It only has one type species, Herrerasaurus ichigualentensis, which the second name is actually from the area where it was discovered in Argentina. Another thing that makes Herrerasaurus interesting is that it has a dual hinged jaw, which allows for a sort of sliding motion between the top and bottom jaw, which would allow it to grip prey better and possibly cut meat better. And also allowed its jaws to be incredibly flexible when it comes to things like. So, the time period where Herrerasaurus comes from, it is one of the larger of the meat-eating dinosaurs from its time. The others being, Eoraptor, Coelophysis, but Coelophysis is from North America. And then in terms of carnivores, it is the largest. But in terms of like dinosaurs in general, it's overshadowed by dinosaurs like like Plateosaurus and stuff. So Herrerasaurus comes from a time where dinosaurs weren't really that big, and it was just after the late Permian extinction where dinosaurs were just starting to evolve, and they were competing with other archosaurs and the remains of the very prominent mammal-like reptiles that used to be all over the place. Now, at the time, you see this a lot in history where after major extinctions happen, crocodilians are usually the first things to come in and just take the place of the previous predators. In the Triassic period, that was very prominent. You had animals like Postosuchus, you had Saurosuchus, and we do have evidence in the skeletons of Herrerasaurus that these things were attacked and possibly killed by archosaurs like Saurosuchus. And we've also have evidence that these dinosaurs would actually also fight each other, where we had injuries that could have been sustained by another Herrerasaurus, but it wasn't life-threatening. This must have been, fighting for territory or mates, and it just had a minor infection, and it later healed over. So they weren't exactly killing each other, but they were definitely fighting each other over stuff. Now time to get into the game. Now, like I said before, this is the smallest meat-eating dinosaur we have in the Isle as of right now. It has 1,000 stamina, and it has 150 health. So this dinosaur is pretty much going to be one-shot by everything. And if you want to play this dinosaur, you know, try not to get hit, like, ever. It's pretty much a death sentence. I think it doesn't get one-shot by Ostroraptor. Like Herrerasaurus, it doesn't do a lot of damage. But actually, I think Herrerasaurus' bite does more damage than Ostroraptor to compensate for the fact that it does not have a pounce ability like Ostroraptor. But I also think it also gives more bleed damage than Ostroraptor. And bleeding your opponent is what you're mainly supposed to be doing with this dinosaur. You're supposed to run in, you know, get a couple bites off. His bite's very fast and has very low cooldown, so you can get a couple off if you run in on somebody. In terms of dinosaurs you want to be hard going after, Dryosaurus is a great example because Herrerasaurus can run down a Dryosaurus, and Dryosaurus doesn't have an attack, so it can't really defend itself, so you don't have to worry about taking damage as Herrerasaurus, which is what you don't want to be doing. Pachycephalosaurus is like Dryosaurus, but harder because it can one-shot the Herrerasaurus if it gets the Herrerasaurus into a area where its head is facing the Herrerasaurus, which is, you want to be attacking from behind. So ambushes, setting up ambushes on Pachycephalosaurus is what you want to be doing, you know. Crouching in, making sure it doesn't notice you. You come in, you deliver your bite, and you run away. I think Herrerasaurus can outrun Pachycephalosaurus just by a little bit. So when you get that head start, you know, it shouldn't be able to catch up to you. Herrerasaurus. Now this dinosaur is a bit tricky because when it attacks, it has really large hitboxes. And it can turn rather tightly, so it would be just like Pachycephalosaurus. Like, you'd have to set up an ambush. Now, I don't know if Herrerasaurus can run down Herrerasaurus. Not many people play Herrerasaurus much on the Isle anymore, due to multiple nerfs. I think it got a speed nerf and a damage nerf, and in terms of its health, it doesn't have a lot, so it's a tricky dinosaur. Oh, crap. So, in terms of carnivores, the main one you want to avoid is Carnotaurus, because Carnotaurus is the fastest carnivore in the game. Like, you're going to want to start hiding from it. Oh, crap. Now it's actually going after me. Oh, shit. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to fight him. Fuck. Did it bleed me? Yeah, it got me. So Carnotaurus can't one-shot Herrerasaurus, but he can bleed him. I don't know why he's not doing anything right now, but okay, so yeah, once Carnotaurus bites you, it does do a lot of bleed damage, so one bite and, you know, it's pretty much all over. I mean, he just sat there and let me bite him. Herrerasaurus doesn't do a lot of damage per bite, so I was trying to accumulate as much bleed damage as possible. But yes, so that's good to know. Carnotaurus can't one-shot Herrerasaurus, but if it gets one bite off of you, you're pretty much done. It's all over. I do believe Allosaurus, Suchomimus, Tyrannosaurus Rex can all one-shot the Herrerasaurus, but Herrerasaurus is more agile and faster, with the exception of Suchomimus. I don't really know, but Suchomimus is faster than Allosaurus, I believe. So I don't know if Herrerasaurus can outrun Suchomimus. Not many people really do play as Suchomimus regardless, so I can't really say from experience how that would play out. Now, in terms of Tyrannosaurus Rex and Allosaurus, it's just the same thing. You know, you just set up your ambush, you get your bite off, and you get out of there. You don't want to get into any confrontations where you're gonna get bitten, because that's a death sentence for you right then and there. Puertosaurus Before I used to say go for it. You can take down a Puertosaurus in like 10 minutes due to bleed damage. But I think they took away bleed damage on Puertosaurus from Herrerasaurus, which was a necessary thing, because, you know, Puertosaurus is supposed to be, you know, the big guy that, you know, throws his weight around, and it's hard to take one down. So I mean, you know, I guess that's a good thing. Now for Shantungosaurus and Maiasaura, I guess Maiasaura being the easier one. Seeing as Herrerasaurus can outrun Allosaurus, and Allosaurus can kind of keep up with a Shantungosaurus, he has a kind of a hard time doing it, but he can do it. I say Herrerasaurus could catch up to it. And just like with everything else, you know, you want to avoid the back. That's where all the hitbox, or you want to avoid the front. That's where all the hitboxes are, and that's gonna, you know, eventually lead to, you know, your Herrerasaurus dying. But the Hadrosaurs, Maiasaurus and Shantungosaurus, are, you know, a very good target to take down because they do provide a lot of meat. And once you understand how they work, you can easily take them down. Now, Ankylosaurus and Stegosaurus. Now these have always been tough ones for me because their tail covers a lot of range, not just the back, but also the side and possibly the front. And their tail attack also has very little cooldown on it, so they can do it multiple times, and it's just hard to get in there and bite them. As far as the Ceratopsids go, they're going to be easier to tackle than the Stegosaurus and Ankylosaurus, but they're going to be harder to tackle than the two Hadrosaurs, because their attacks will do a lot of damage. Diabloceratops will do a lot of damage to Herrerasaurus, and Triceratops will do a lot of damage to Herrerasaurus. So, but on top of that, Diabloceratops and Triceratops also have very good turning speeds. So you're gonna have to set up an ambush for that one. I just even realized. Now we're gonna go into their roars. You know, I should probably do the roars. All right. So here's this talk roar. You know, the standard F roar. All right. So you hear a lot of hissing, guttural grunts that probably comes from an alligator. All right. And so here's its broadcast roar. So it's like the F roar, except it's a lot more drawn out, and it's a lot more stretched out, and it lasts, you know, much longer. But it's a broadcast roar. But it's the same thing, you know, the guttural grunts, the hissing. It's very, very reptilian, which I guess is what they're going for the look of this animal, because this is a very early dinosaur, so it's going to be more reptilian-like than bird-like. And you see that in its skull and skeleton and stuff. It's got a lot more common with reptiles than it does with birds. Alright, so here's its friendly roar. So it looks like they just took the regular F roar, pitched it up. Still the same formula, the hissing and the grunts. Now this is its aggressive roar. Now here's where the roar changes. You get that cool, like, warp sound in the middle of it, where I don't really know what noise that comes from. It's probably it's some sort of reptile cry. It could be another type of, you know, crocodilian cry, or I might even say like a type of large lizard. And then you got its help me cry. Now this cry is it's literally just a pitched up Tyrannosaurus Rex cry with some alligator grunts added to it. Now, so here's its walk speed. What I noticed about this dinosaur is it's got a very fast walk speed. Like, this walk speed right here is about the same speed as a Ostroraptor trot speed. And then when you go into trot, you notice that it's very fast for a trot, which is pretty nice. But then you go into its sprint. Its sprint is just a hair bit faster than its trot, making its sprint not very good. So, alright, so there's a Puertosaurus. I wonder if I can beat it. Okay, so you can still bleed a Puertosaurus. Okay, so no, yes, you can. Alright, I see the blood right there. So yes. Alright, I gotta change that. You can actually bleed a Puertosaurus. My bad. So, for Puertosaurus, you can literally just run in. What you always want to do is you want to go for the front, because when it attacks, it's got very slow startup and very slow cooldown, so you can't do a lot at a time. And it gives you time to just run in, grab a bite, and then, you know, just keep going. Now, smart Puertosaurus will actually try and trick you. And another way that I've noticed to trick a Puertosaurus, you can run in, do a mock bite, and the sound will actually trigger the person to do their attack animation. And as soon as their attack animation is over, you can you can use the ending lag of it to, you know, to take it down. So yeah, he's just gonna bleed there for a bit. It should take me about 10 to 20 minutes to actually take this character down. I don't know if I'm gonna commit to this. Alright, so here's the Shantungosaurus. I guess now would be a great time to test if I can keep up with it. Alright, so the Shant here is actually gonna try and protect the Puertosaurus here. So I'm gonna come in, grab a couple bites. So, I guess when it's running on all fours, keep up with it. Jesus, it's just hard to do with all this lag. Right. And the camera is just really messed up at this point. Like, oh jeez, they've just really been they've just been like changing the cameras around a lot. Oh jeez. All right. Alright, so I seem to have broke my leg. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be having Shan steak tonight. Unless I want to kill myself. Alright, I'm going to sneak up on him. I'm just going to bite his tail. I think he sees me though. Yep, he sees me. Alright, put me out of my misery. Also, Herrerasaurus seems to have a very fast limping, which is pretty nice. Alright, he's just letting me bite him now. He doesn't give a shit. Or he just doesn't care. So now we have the Diablosaurus. Everyone's just breaking their legs here. Oh boy. Alright, well that's it for the video. Tune in next time for my Suchomimus tenerensis video. Alright, until then, have fun playing the island. Enjoy playing Herrerasaurus. I know I enjoy playing Herrerasaurus. Alright. What? So anticlimactic! Finish me! Alright, we'll play it your way.